Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we have another IMO 6 sent to me by my wonderful viewers because they stopped sending me easy problems because I guess they want to make me look dumb or something. So, please forgive the LaTeX form. I guess you can't tell. The steps are like not in text environments, so it looks really bad, but here we are. So, let n greater than 1 be an integer in a circular arrangement of n lamps, L0 through Ln minus 1, each of which can either be on or off. We start with them all on, and then we carry a bunch of steps. Step 0, step 1, and so on. And if L sub j minus 1, where indices are all mod n, is on, then step j changes the state of Lj, but doesn't change any other lamp. And if it's off, then nothing happens. So totally deterministic. I don't think there's any parameters here. I think it's like actually a deterministic process. So show that there's a positive integer m and m depending on n such that eventually the lamps are all on. If n is a power of 2, then all the lamps are on after n squared minus 1 steps. And if n has the form 2 to the k plus 1, then all lamps are on after n squared minus n plus 1 steps. Yeah, so Twitch I already figured out part 1, which is that, let's see. They're all on, and off lamps are ignored. Yeah, it looks like XOR. So part 1 is probably some finiteness thing. So you have we'll let like Ci be the state after. Well, Ci be the state after this step. However you want to denote it. And there's like map C0 to C1 to C2. So you have this process. But what happens is that because of the way it's set up, this process is invertible, by which I mean if you know what Cj is, you also know what Cj minus 1 is. It's called XOR. Yeah, you can call it like addition mod 2, whatever you want. So on the other hand, only finitely many situations. So interestingly, the all off position is a fixed point, and I guess that means you can never get to the all off thing. But because only find many situations, so eventually two positions coincide. And so the process is a priori, it's eventually periodic. But because invertible, it's totally periodic. Where by finally many situations, I mean like n times 2 to the n, where you keep track of the state of every lamp, and you keep track of the which things are on. So now this is the part where, I mean, they gave us this statement, and Evan, I should teach you JS Trust, me and come. So this is like a thing where there's like almost no degrees of freedom. Like I feel like the process is almost entirely deterministic. I mean, it is like it's a zero. Sometimes you have these processes. There's more than one thing happening, but here that's not the case. It's like there's zero players, so to speak, rather than having someone who makes decisions. Yeah, there's no choice. So I mean, usually when there's no choice, what you try to do is like Usually if there's no choice, the thing to do is like write out a bunch of examples and just look at what's happening. We can apply that here, where I'm just gonna write out n equals 2, n equals 4, and n equals 8. Oh, actually n equals 8 will take a while. Okay, let's just do n equals 2 and 4 first. 1, 1. So n equals 2 is like what? 1, 1 goes to 1, 0. So 1, 0. Yeah, this is hard to keep track of my head. Goes to 1, 1. So it cycles after 3 steps. And n equals 4. So what I'm looking for is like, because the power of 2 is here, one zero goes to 1, 0. Yeah. One of the zeros is, you have to keep track of where the what do you call it? Like which thing is doing the toggling, which is annoying. But I mean that's what the problem says. Okay, so this is that's a full cycle, and then did I mess up yet? So this one toggles, this 0 doesn't toggle. This one toggles, this 0 doesn't toggle. This one toggles. You know, I'm gonna actually highlight the number that's changing in red so that I can keep track of it, because otherwise it's really annoying to. So okay, see you 3VT. Thanks for dropping by as always. Appreciate your enthusiasm and your apparently perfect watch streak. Okay, cool. 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. Okay, so it's boring. Maybe I should just write a program to do this, honestly, at this point. Also, I didn't get back, so something's wrong. How many steps have I done by now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, actually, okay, so this is not as bad as I was worried for a moment, because it was like x squared minus 1 seemed weird. Actually, it still feels weird to me. Yeah, never mind. That's so strange. So, okay, I do this a little bit new, where the number, like the thing but just before the ending is always 1 followed by a bunch of zeros. 1110 to 1100 is wrong? Is it? I don't think so. Yeah, and so yeah, I mean the answer is what it is. The phone tells us the answer. It's just that It feels like a weird answer to me, but also like answers are not always important anyways, so I'm not going to fret too much about it. So what we know from this is that the last, like, you already see this pattern, right? Where to get to all ones, you have to start from ones plus all zeros and then go 1, 1, 1. And to get to this, you have to get to like here, like 1000, and then run through all the zeros. So I actually basically know what the last two n-ish moves are. I would believe induction of some sort. That's why I've chose n equals 2 and n equals 4 as the first examples here. I would also that are one right of the numbers marked already. I would like to compose some of these. Where I want to write out what happens if I do the operation n times. So if I'm at a state, a1 through an, if I do the operation n times, what do I get? So I just have to write this out. I'm going to write it out for... let's do 4 numbers to start. Okay, so this pattern is pretty clear. And yeah, that should be true. So if I interpret this thing in linear algebraic terms, what is this matrix? This is the matrix I'm multiplying in general, right? Actually, I'm not sure I should do the last operation. It honestly looks more useful to do to split this into 2 matrices. No, it doesn't. Actually, you'll end up with a quirk either way. So essentially the problem is asking me to take a big power of this matrix. I think that's what's happening. And if I'm interested in that, can I... Unfortunately, I don't know enough linear algebra to really know this well. One reason I don't really believe yeah, I agree the problem is equivalent to this. I don't know if it's easy. One reason I'm skeptical of linear algebra type approaches is that those don't seem like they should depend on the dimension of the vector space, but the answer does. What is the difference between eventually totally periodic? So yeah. Yeah, eventually periodic means that you can ignore some finitely many initial terms. This is a full cycle. So I think what I want to do is like I wrote this whole thing out like manually, but I think the interesting ones are like I want to the operations compose so much like like each single operation does so little work that really what I want to think about is like compressing it so that I'm really doing more operations at once. And I think this is the right thing to do, which means that what I'm looking at is like this thingy, this thingy. We'll look every end so that we don't have to think about this mod end thing, because the mod end thing is very distracting. So we start with all ones. We want to end with 1000. And basically I just want to look at like these intermediate things and see what's up. So I have a feeling that if I write out what it is for n equals 8, I will be able to see what's going on. So for n equals 8, the first box string is 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. And the rule is that you take the partial sums and then these are the partial sums, and then these are like whatever, the sum of everything else. So I believe it'll always be 1, right? Yeah, okay. So partial sums are 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. Okay, next the partial sums are 1 and then 1 0 0 1 1 0 0. And then the partial sums are this feels good. Like this looks like a good data. Okay, and then 1 1 1 1 0 0 0 0. Is interpreting partial sums just binomial coefficients? Are they binomial coefficients? That would be really cool if that's what's happening. Well, anyways, I feel like I can sort of see what's happening. Wanna be famous? Not that kind of famous. Ban. So what are the binomial coefficients of? I don't see why those are involved. Is me banning like an automated bot that I'm using? I feel like we get one of these every like 2 or 3 streams. I don't know if you noticed. Yeah, but anyways, for n equals 8, what happens is like... Hi, Crow. Basically, like, if n equals 2 to the e, what will happen is you get... It takes... The first thing that happens is that the one sort of condense... Actually, I don't know. What does this look like in general? So, the second string is always 10101010, and then it's 11001100, and then 100... Like, if this was 16, this would be 100, 100, 100, 100. Hang on. Like, I'm trying to imagine, yeah, it has to be induction. Like, you can feel it, right? Just by looking at these numbers. Like, there's a structure here, and if I just sit down and work it out, I should know what it is. 100... Like 32, it's like, what if I have like 64 ones? Then it's 32 pairs. And then it's 32 doublet ones. It's gotta work. I just need to I need to describe what it is. I actually might write it out for 16. I'm gonna write it out for 16. The coefficients are n choose 1. Wait, what? It's basically the previous case repeated. Is it though? Like, if n equals... Like 1111, 1111, 1111. Yeah, I agree. The first half is like... So you always start with all ones. And then after that you get 1 zeros alternating. Then after that you get 1 clump, 0 clump. Oh, I see. Basically within each block, like, okay, so what I can say is I can split this into, after the first step I can split it into, well, actually almost forever. I can split it into 2 halves. Very good, very good. Okay, I see it. And in the 2 halves, they don't talk to each other. So they act independently of each other. Just cut it in half like this. This is the n equals 16 case. And what will happen is that you'll get a repeat of the previous situation. So whatever happened, you'll eventually get down to 10000, because that's what the previous case went up to. With the additional strong induction hypothesis that there's an even number of ones, which is true because it was also divided into 2 equal halves. So the induction hypothesis is that the first time when I get an odd number of ones is here. And then it's true, induction follows through, and now I'm at this state. And now I can just work out what happens where it's, then I get a string of ones and a string of zeros. And then now it's the previous case again, except there's a bunch of zeros. Yeah, so you can just forget about the block of zeros because it's still true that there's an even number of zeros on each side. And then eventually you get... Yeah, there we go. Rigid all the way. Very good. Oh shoot. What do you mean not found? Did I forget itemize? Well, it's my, see, it is, the ants problem is in process. I just put it only on the Z version because I didn't want the D version to be too long. Yeah, anyways, what happens, it's like, there's one extra step. So it's the number of steps in the previous times 2 plus 1. So here, if there are 3 phases, then this one there is 7. And that's exactly what you want. So that's Sauce Puppy. Yay. You need that every step ends with 0 except the first. Oh, that's true. You're correct. I also need the extra hypothesis that the last digits here are all 0. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so now let's do the last part. I'm so confused about these binomial coefficients. Like, don't the... The problem is that your first coordinate is messed up, right? How would partial on the problem be awarded if you made the marking scheme? Let me solve the third part first and then answer that question. Remind me when we get to the end. Okay, so that was n equals 2 stuff. Now let's go to n equals 3 and so on. So yeah, what's our target? N squared minus whatever. N squared minus n plus 1. So we need to, we'll see what it looks like. So first I'm going to write out, should I skip to the block? I'm going to write it out fully once because it's only 7 steps. Okay, and then once you're here... So I think we want to get to 0, 0, 1 is what happens. And now, once again, I'm going to skip steps and put them into chunks. So starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Partial sums are 1. No, partial sum, it starts with 0 this time, and then it's like... Zero, 1, 0. No, it doesn't. No, it does. 1, 0, 1, 0. 1. Oh, this looks a lot worse. And then it's partial sums are 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. And then the partial sums are... So it looks like this time the ones are the ones that are always... Like the rightmost bit is always 1. That seems like it's going to stay true the whole way. Why is it not 1, 0? Did I screw up? So the first bit is the sum of the other 6 bits. So here, because it's odd, I think there's... Yeah. One. Oh man. Lame. I hope I'm doing these partial sums correctly. Oh, okay, we got a last bit of 0, which is not good. It doesn't bode well. What the heck does... Wait, what? I'm so confused now. I think you may want to stack these, like... What is the 43? Let me first write. Okay. Let me actually look at the binomial claim. So you claim that after Cn steps, the kth term is the sum from I equals 0 to k minus 1 of a sub k minus 1 times c plus I minus 1, which is I. I think this is false. When you take k equals 1 and c equals 1. Yeah, mod 2, like, whatever. Well, actually, this might not be mod 2, but I think it is. This is the problem is, like, I don't think it's binomial coefficients because of the wraparound. Like, earlier when we were looking at, I guess I hit the matrix stuff. Let me put it on a different slide. Yeah, like the reason these nice things are not going to work is because of that first term. Like, that issue from the first term is going to propagate. Okay, I feel like I'm not getting the right number of steps. Is there a reason the middle bit alternates every 2 steps? I guess this is as good as mine. I don't know what's going on with this problem right now. I also don't... I feel like I messed up. Like, these don't look like they're going to get the right thing in time. Because we know the thing we want at the very end is like all zeros plus a 1. Right? We want to get there in... Wait, is this example right? No, yeah, that's correct. But this doesn't look good. I feel like I don't reach the state I want quickly enough. The 5th one is wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. 0. 0. Yeah, this should be 0. Okay, thanks. That first bit is... I should, like, write... Okay, whatever. Zero, 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 1, 0, 1, 0. Oh, that's a good sign. That looks a lot better. That looks like that looks sort of like the thing from before. We know how this thingy behaves. So we saw 10, 10 before, right? No. Wait, hope I fake solved IMO 2005-1. How do I show the spiral point is common? The heck? I don't know what you're doing. I would just take the... If you have... Whenever you have an equilateral polygon, you should treat the sides as vectors with unit magnitude and vanishing sum. That's one of the things... It won't work every time, but it's something you should always consider. Okay, back to this. 0. And then 0. And then 1. Oh. Four, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. I'm confused. How many steps are we expecting? We're expecting n squared minus n plus 1, so 43. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. It's not just finishing one step. What? Did the previous matrix idea work? I didn't pursue it because I didn't see how it was going to help. The problem with the matrix is the same problem that you had, which is this column sucks. Like, the reason this problem isn't just dying to fancy shit is because this column is like not nice. Oh my god. I'm so no! Let's see with the k plus 1. No! 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 How did that happen with none of us noticing? I have no idea. Alright, let's start over. Fortunately, n equals 3 example I can still use. But, oh my god, jeez. Try again! Yeah, at least the example is smaller. See, now the first bit's always 0 and everything's magical. Except, what the heck? Why did it end here? Okay, for n equals 5, what are we anticipating? We want 21 steps. I guess if you have a 1 in the middle, then... I mean... Okay, so it's not wrong. But that's kind of weird. Because this is sort of the nice end state. And then... Honestly, it might be like it's like 0, 0, and then starting from the third bit, it's this. I'm gonna write down n equals 8. I have a feeling that's what yeah. I have a feeling n equals 9. I have a feeling that might be what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wants to start. We open up with 0, 0. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Yeah, okay, this is just the same thing. Where there's like, the second bit is a special 0, and everyone else is the same as the n equals 8 case, right? Because as long as this has an even number of 1s in every position, this bit is always 0. As long as it always ends with 0, this bit is always 0. So it's the same thing. Okay. So it's the same thing up until you get 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, and then after that it's different. It's 1, 0, all 1s. And then after that, you wait one more turn. Alright, I'm just gonna call it. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. It's the same thing as the previous place. What a troll problem? I think it's a fine problem. Like, it's just a rigid problem. They give you a completely deterministic thing, so you look at it and you write out some examples and you see what's happening. Once you know what's happening, you extract the answer. It's a very archetypical, like, this is like a textbook example of rigid, I think. Evan, how do you do IMO 2005-1? Didn't I just say? Like, I don't know what you're doing with the spiral. Actually, I probably have some guesses, but I wouldn't bother, honestly. Just look at the vectors. Alright. Alright, thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Please read problems more carefully than I did. And yeah, see you next time.